Trust in the
Good evening, a gathering of hearts. It's been a little while since I came in here live, or it feels like it's been a while since I came in here live. Let me know when you're coming to join me live. Drop me a little heart. Come and join me. Come and say hi.
You are always guided. Trust in your heart. Trust in your strength. Trust in
I'm just going to use this time to ground as I wait for some of you to come and join me live in here.
Trust in the unknown. Trust in the unknown. You are always safe. You are always carried. You are always held. You are always guided. Trust in your heart. Trust in your strength. Trust in your light. Trust in yourself. Trust in the unknown. Trust in the unknown. You are always safe. You are always carried. You are always held.
All right, good evening, a gathering of hearts. It's so lovely to be back live here in the group. I'm sorry that I came in half an hour late for spirituality. I've got my tea over here in my cup. I'm sorry that I came in half an hour late today. I just really needed to unwind and get off the screen for a little bit and get into the bath and just have some time away from the computer screen. And I'm sure you're all feeling this right now, that you are spending a lot of time staring at the screen. For those of you who are mums to young children, hello, welcome. Come and join me. Come and drop me a heart and say hi this evening. For those of you that are mums trying to homeschool your children at the moment, I am sending you so much love and strength, and this is going to be especially important for you this evening. For those of you that are trying to juggle working from home and spending way more time on your screen than you are used to, I'm sending you love and strength at this time. For those of you that are just feeling a little bit lost, or tired, or deflated, or frustrated, or angry, or anxious, or just super overwhelmed, weak, perhaps you're feeling unmotivated or lethargic, or even in your pain body, I am sending you so much love and strength at this time. So when I was thinking about topics for our weekly spirituality, I hadn't anticipated how much we would actually need this particular topic at this particular time. And nourishing your soul just really came to me because as we head into a new year, or Gregorian New Year, the 2021 year, so many people set themselves up for these huge expectations and all these intentions and all these, it's like, oh, overnight my life is going to change with all my new manifestations and intentions. But it doesn't quite work that way. And this is why, hey Jenny, how are you? This is why I really encourage, hey Jenny, lovely to see you. This is why I really encourage starting to cultivate visions rather than starting to cultivate intentions around the new year and having all these expectations of ourselves when really we've just hit a clock, and symbolically it's bringing us this new hope, symbolically it's bringing us this new way and this new living. But actually it's just an illusion, because once again we are just being constricted by a man-made or linear time construct. So what I really wanted to talk about tonight was nourishing your soul. Let me know, Jenny, I think it was you that used the word deflated the other day when I posted, and I really felt that was like the perfect word to describe how so many of us are feeling. Let me know in the comments, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, how you have been feeling recently. Just drop me one word or two words on how you've been feeling recently. How you've been feeling in your soul. Let me know. What is it that you've been really feeling recently? Share it with me. I think my major word, I'll put it in the chat. My major word has just been this. I have been hugely purging so much. Yeah, that was you. Definitely deflated and scrambled. Yeah, great word, Jenny. Yeah, and so this is going to be even more important for you this evening around nourishing your soul and finding a way to really connect in with the things that support you to do that. So since, or I think I shared with you a little bit of my personal story, but since the full moon ceremony that we had, where it was a beautiful full moon gathering we had of women, the next night, on the actual full moon, I decided that I was going to release some things into the fire. So, and my stomach is starting to play up even as I start to talk about it. It's incredible how our body holds this trauma. I can feel it all like gurgling down here as I talk about it. So I decided to do my own fire ceremony by placing things inside the fire and speaking out loud and saying, I choose to release this. And I put it in the fire with the pieces of paper, and I saw it just like go inside the fire. It was really incredible to actually see it being burnt in the fire that way, to see the words and the paper being burnt away and transmuted and transformed. And then the next night we did another fire ceremony, and this time was like binding up the stuff that we wanted to throw in the fire. And as we put it in the fire, it really started to stink, like a really rancid smell. And it really, yes, it totally makes sense, Jenny. Totally makes sense. It really started to smell, and it was like, all of this energy, all of these things that I asked to be released into the fire. And I asked for really powerful stuff. So I asked for things like, I would like to release any dark entities, vows, curses, binds, or hooks that I have implanted in me. I choose to release them. Or I asked to release any jealousy that I harbor inside me. I asked to release any of my wounded masculine, my wounded feminine. I asked to release it. I asked to release any attachment to things that no longer serve me or belong to me or never have belonged to me, but I still find myself staying attached to in the wounded feminine. And I released it so much. And then I felt, I don't know about you, but I felt absolutely exhausted. Let me know if you've been feeling extra tired, like extra exhausted, because I felt this like sense of exhaustion coming all the way up my neck and into my head and into my eyes, and creating this like tightness right here all the way around my head. And I spoke to lots of other people who were feeling this way too. Let me know, or drop me a heart in the comments if you felt this way over the last few days. For me, it started on the full moon, it continued into New Year, and it ramped up into 2021. And then I started to get all these other symptoms. Like I was literally, I'm not a burper, and I started to burp all the time, and I was like expulsing things out of my body. Yes, super exhausted, almost like a migraine. Yes, exactly. Yes, me too. Me too, Jenny. And I started to really purge. Like I felt myself like burping all the time, and I never burp, really, I never do. And I found it, and it was disgusting. And then I was like, wow, I've got a real stomach ache all the time, and it feels like I need to go to the toilet all the time. And then I got all this pain in my body. And what it felt like to me, and perhaps you feel this too, what it felt like to me is that as we are ascending into this new earth, as we are crossing that dimension through the portal into the 5D realm that we've been talking about, this awakening into the new earth, there are these dark forces that are trying to keep us back. They're trying to keep us back in the 3D timeline. So all of these new restrictions, all of these new rules, the rise in the cases, it's like coinciding with, it's like this duality that we've got. Once again, the duality that I talk about a lot, about these opposites, but they're not opposites that attract each other. They're opposites that pull us apart, that keep continuing to keep us separated. And that separation is coming through the spirit, but it's also trying to separate us from within by muting our energy and by pulling us back and by keeping us down into this like dark, heavy, dense energy. It's keeping us down in that energy rather than allowing us to ascend up into our light crystal energy, which is where we're heading to as light workers, as way showers, as people who are awakening into their spiritual realm. Is this resonating with you and making sense? Drop me a little comment and let me know. Let me know. And so it's extra important right now that we are finding ways to really nourish our soul. When I posted in the group a couple of days ago asking, just give me one word about how you're feeling, with no reason for me to give you advice, just pop me that word and let me see how you're all feeling. Collectively, we all felt those things: tired, deflated, anxious, exhausted. I posted it on my Instagram. I got the same thing. Lots of people responding saying, yes, 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 I've been feeling this way too. Yes, it does. It feels like a dark cloud. Absolutely, Jenny. It does feel like a dark cloud. Now, once again, the awareness that we even have of it and the collective energy that we feel around it is already really helpful, because in this way we can join together to surround ourselves with people who fully understand this, who are going to really support us through this really turbulent period of time. So this is one of my points. Hello, Cara. Ah, yay. I'm glad you're in the bath. I'm glad you're in the bath and very tired too. Yes, fully honoring you, fully hearing you. I was desperate for a bath earlier. That's why I came in late. Absolutely. And so for me, this feels like an extra important time now to really nourish your soul. So when I say the phrase nourish your soul, what does it actually mean to you? When I say that phrase, to nourish your soul, what does that look like or feel like or sound like or express itself as? To nourish your soul, what does that mean for you specifically? Because for everyone, it's going to mean something different. Tea nourishes my soul. I think you know that by now. One of my faves. What does it mean to you to nourish your soul? What does that feel like for you, or look like for you, or how does that express for you to nourish your soul? I know Cara loves to be in the bath. Me too. Jenny, I know you love to paint. Feed your soul. Music, dance, joy, happiness, laughter. Yes, a ode to all of those things. Absolutely. Now, everyone is going to have a different version of what it means to nourish their soul. Everyone has something different because we're all unique human beings and we all desire different things that nourish our soul. But nourishing our soul really, really involves quite a few things, actually. It really involves loving ourselves so unconditionally and so wholeheartedly that even when that feels so difficult, even when that feels so painful and so uncomfortable, and there is so much else around us that is trying to drag us back down, that we are continuing to connect in with that light, that we are continuing to connect in with source, and we're continuing to connect to the higher part of ourselves that knows that this is just a temporary Libby described it the other day as like this dark tunnel, that we're like stuck inside the dark tunnel, but it is the light at the end of that tunnel, and I fully resonate with that. Cara says, allowing myself to listen to my intuition and what I need and bring into my life things that make my soul shine. Yes, ahoy, Cara, absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. It really is about bringing in the things that light you up specifically. And that's why I asked you what it means to you, because everyone is so individual and so different. What does it feel like to you when you don't nourish your soul? What does it feel like to you in your body, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul? What does it feel like when you don't nourish your soul? When you deny yourself those things that light you up, when you deny yourselves not listening to your intuition or not trusting in that intuition? What does that feel like for you? Hey, Brittany, welcome. What does it feel like to you when you don't nourish your soul, when you don't honor your intuition, when you don't honor your body, when you don't honor your sacredness? Let me know, what does that feel like to you? And you know, I'm coming to you from my bed because it feels like a fine way to nourish my soul, to be sitting on my bed talking to you as if you're in my room with me. Hey, Brittany, welcome. Buried deep underground with no way out. Yes, I hear that, Jenny. I fully honor you, and I hear you. It makes you feel stuck, drained. Yes, absolutely, Brittany. Yes, it does. It makes us feel fully stuck. It makes us feel like we're being dragged back into a place that we no longer belong. Because as we continue this ascension, as we continue this awakening, as we head further and further away from this plain 3D realm that is filled with fear, that is filled with anxiety, that is filled with these like mind games that are keeping us dragged down, we want to continue connecting to the light. We want to continue connecting to source, to God, to all the things that bring you that joy. Yes, Cara says lifeless. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with all of you. Yes. So I want to invite you to think about some tips that I've put together to in ways to nourish your soul, and then I'd love for us to end with a meditation. So are you guys okay to hang around for another 5 minutes or so whilst I talk you through the tips before we go into the meditation? Yes, Brittany, when you don't nourish yourself, you feel like you can't access your queen energy. Yes, absolutely, because you're not in balance. In that state, you're not in balance. In order to get into your queen energy, you need to have the divine masculine, and the divine masculine holds you in that sacred space. And if you don't honor that within you, that presence, that groundness, that stillness, how can you go and be still in your queendom? How can you go and sit on your throne and download that vision? How can you? Hey, Sophie, welcome. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm so glad my last meditation is still serving you. Amazing. Okay, we're going to end with a meditation tonight. Okay, so here are some of the tips that I've put together based on how I've been feeling so much recently. And my first one, okay, more than doing things like having a bath, which of course is amazing and I fully honor that, but more than like having a bath and putting on a face mask, the thing that for me is the most nourishing to my soul is honoring your sacred boundaries. What do I mean by that? And let me know if you're resonating with this. Honoring your sacred boundaries. That means that you get to choose to say yes or no in any given situation with any given person without worrying about losing their love or their approval. That's what sacred boundaries means to me, that I can choose at any given time in any given situation to say yes or no without losing their love or approval. Does that resonate with you? How does that land in your heart? Honoring your sacred boundaries. And sacred boundaries comes along with being able to fully, confidently state your needs. Yes, you made a list of the ways you can nourish and mother yourself, and boundary holding is on it. Yes, 100%, 100%. I think it's, for me, the most important way to nourish your soul, first and foremost, is to know what those boundaries are and then to be able to honor them. And so connected to that is about being able to actually honor your needs and express your desires. So, of course, so many of you now are at home. Yes, this is something you struggle with so much, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny's going, yes, yes, yes. Yes, Cara says, I don't want to talk this evening, just to be quiet, and you didn't call a friend. Amazing. Well, Cara, I'm really honored that you're joining us here on the live if you didn't feel like you wanted to talk this evening. It's so beautiful to have your energy. Yes, Sophie, you struggle with honoring your sacred boundaries. For so many of us, this is one of our biggest struggles, to honor our sacred boundaries, because we grew up in a household. Likely, maybe you grew up in a household where if you didn't say yes to something, then you didn't get the approval or the love that you felt you deserved. But by saying yes to something, by people pleasing, that you've become a people pleaser, by saying yes to that person, that meant that you got love. That meant that you got validation. So now it's really hard for you to be able to say a sacred no. But a sacred no can look something like, and I'm actually planning on doing an Instagram post about this because it's come to me a lot recently, but a sacred no can look something like, thank you, I really appreciate your offer, but I really just need to spend time with myself right now. Thank you so much for thinking of me to invite me to this tonight, but I think I'm just going to spend some time on my own things this weekend. But how about we do this another time? Thank you so much for inviting me into your space, but it just doesn't feel right for me right now. Thank you for the offer, but for me, I would rather be doing that instead. Okay, so there are so many ways that we can get around not just having to say no, and even worrying about hurting the other person's feeling. Cara says she will love me, but past me would have called her out of feeling like a bad friend. Yeah, absolutely. So with sacred boundaries comes along this idea of honoring your needs, okay, and even being able to express your desires. So if you're in a partnership, or if you're even in a work relationship, it's about being able to say, what I really need right now is rest. What I really desire is to have 8 hours sleep. Could we try and make that happen tonight? Could we switch the laptop off earlier? Could we please put our phones outside and just honor tonight that I need 8 hours sleep? And there are ways to say that, and we can do a whole other session on this, using nonviolent communication to really explore how to come across and say those things, because we're really not taught how to communicate, are we? Kids are not taught even how to communicate properly, to actually ask for what it is that they need without feeling bad or without feeling the guilt and the shame. And that is another thing on my list. I'm kind of not going in order anymore, but it's fine. So one of the things I wrote about was to let go of the guilt and the shame. So when it comes to honoring your sacred boundaries and about being able to say yes or no, a heaven yes or a hell no, we have the opportunity then to just let go of any guilt or any shame around that. So I think for those of you that are mums, especially now that you're trying to homeschool your kids, if you're especially in the UK, Brittany, I don't know what it's like out there in the States right now. And I know you've got a little one. Cara, I know probably Mason's not going to school and you're having to like juggle work and homeschooling and everything else on top of everything else. So it's really now even more vital and important that you are honoring those sacred boundaries and honoring those yeses and those nos. And having to say, Mum loves you, right? Mum really loves you, but right now Mum needs to do this. So I would really appreciate it if you did that. And I know that it's not easy to talk to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old in that way. But the more we can cultivate that kind of communication with them, the more they'll understand how important it is to have those needs. My friend once said to me, you don't need a reason to say no, just say it. Exactly. There's no need for you to justify it. But if you're worried about hurting someone's feelings, there are ways to say, like I gave the examples before. I'm going to do a post about it. Like, thank you so much for your invite to X, Y, and Z, but I'm really just feeling that's not my energy right now. I'd love to spend time with you in another time, at another time in another place, for example. Okay. So the second thing that I actually had on my list was about protecting your energy. How do you guys find ways to protect your energy? What do you do to protect your energy? When you feel like someone's in your energy field or you feel like there's too much, what do you do to protect your energy? Drop me a comment, let me know. It's really funny. So I'm on the live on one tab and then I'm following the comments along in another, and I see myself like in delay, and it's really funny. I just look really animated and I wonder if that's how people see me when I'm teaching. It's so funny. Yeah, this one is tricky. You're absolutely right, Cara, especially for people who are in service mode, which I think many of us here are, that we are like serving others or supporting others through their energy blocks and their healing. Jenny says she goes quiet. Brittany says you protect it by honoring it. Tell me more about that, Brittany. How do you honor it? What do you do? Jenny, when you go quiet, is that like a withdrawal, or do you just kind of withdraw? Or do you tell people first, I need to have some space and I'm going to have my quiet time now? Or do you just withdraw? Sophie says she puts herself in an imaginary bubble before meeting people who may affect you. Yes, that is one of the tools that I was going to give. That's amazing. One of the amazing energy tools that you can use is exactly as Sophie has just said, is to create this amazing bubble. My friend used to tell me that she would imagine herself sitting like a queen inside a golden egg that people can that people can enter. But I love to see it as this like iridescent bubble where the energy can come into the bubble only if you choose it to. Only the energy that you choose to come into the bubble can come in. And then you're sending out really good energy outside of the bubble. That's how I vision it with the bubble. You completely withdraw, says Jenny. You'll move plans or reprioritize your day if your energy is needing you to be slow in yourself and me time. Yes, I love that. I love that you just have the confidence to move your plans and reprioritize, just the way that Cara did when she said to her friend, I'm sorry, I can't talk this evening. Absolutely agree with that one. That's a beautiful way to honor it. And the thing is, we're all humans, right? Well, we're all spiritual beings actually having a human experience on this planet. So if people do take that personally and do get offended by that, just know that that is not you. And that is just them projecting their own wounding onto you. White light and silence. I have an amazing necklace I wear of full crystal and copper. I also ground my roots in the earth. Love the bubbles method. I often do that, but also forget. Yes. Oh, yes. You see it the same way, Sophie. Yes. Yes. Amazing. Yes, amazing. All right. So about protecting your energy, I often try and imagine that there's this like bubble, but also when I finish a session with somebody, like yesterday when I finished the breathwork session, I did just like well, first of all, I had a shower because that's a real spiritual cleanser. But having showers and baths, by the way, are like connecting in with those four elements. So like Cara said, putting your feet on the earth. So connecting in with earth. Connecting in with the water and using that as a spiritual cleanser, transmuting or transforming things in the fire. And if you don't have an actual open fire, you can always use a candle. And of course, the breath. Okay, so I talk about breath work a lot because that's what I do, but the breath is an incredible cleanser, and that's your air. So you have your feet on the ground for earthing, for ground, for earth. You have a fire for transmuting and transforming. You have the water for spiritual purification and cleansing, and then you have the breath for cleansing your internal cellular system. So these are four ways that you can really protect your energy as well. Releasing things into the fire, making sure you're having regular washes, especially after being surrounded by like icky energy, or icky people, or things that you feel like, yeah, totally cleansing with water. And you can, even when you're in the bath or you're in the shower, you can turn it into a bit of a sacred ritual and just like imagine or just ask that it be washed away, ask that it be cleansed off you. So every time I finish a breathwork session or a healing session with somebody, I always just like, if I don't have time to have a physical shower or a bath at that point, then I'll always just do like an aura cleanse and ask that whatever is not mine no longer be mine, and I like push it away from me, because I don't want to carry on holding on to somebody else's energy. So I hope that's making sense for you. My third one, of course, is a really obvious one, but we still forget to do it because we're all on it right now, and that is to switch off your social. I have become terrible at this again, particularly as I'm doing so much online teaching at the moment. So I've now decided that my phone just doesn't even stay in the room with me at night time, and I'm literally putting the phone downstairs to charge so that I don't want to be anywhere near my phone before I go to bed. And I'm like making that as a rule to myself because I'm really struggling otherwise to put the social away. Yes, every time I end a shower, I flick the last of the water off me to wash anything I don't need down the drain. I love that. Yes, Paolo Santo and Sage. Yeah, I listened to a really, really interesting podcast today called Tay Mott. It's this really cool guy who calls himself the Jewish Witch. And you know I'm Jewish, so this is part of my roots. And he talks about Jewish sacred rituals, which I really love because I want to create more of that into my life. And he was talking about sage, about white sage, and how dishonoring it is to the ancestors because it's not part of our ancestry. And like there are a lot of people who have different conflicting ideas about sage, in particular about white sage. But I'm really happy to send you the podcast to listen to because it was super interesting what he was saying. So now he's using rituals like from his ancestors or like from Jewish tradition in order to do cleansing and like smudging, which is really interesting because I hadn't really thought about it that way. So it was a really interesting perspective. But I'm happy to send you the podcast. Okay, I also wrote about choosing acts of kindness. Like when we create acts of kindness for other people, it is a really beautiful way to nourish our soul because we know that we are giving from the place of the heart, like not because we want to receive something back specifically, but literally because we're putting ourselves in our heart center there. We're putting ourselves in a place of the heart. Yeah, I'll happily share it with you. It's such an interesting podcast. In fact, this is going to sound really weird, but a girl that I used to go to school with, who's not Jewish at all, she's Muslim, she passed it to me and was like, I think you'd really love this. I've been listening to this Jewish witch on podcast. I think you'd love the podcast. And I was like, oh, hi, I haven't heard from you in ages. How lovely. Thanks for thinking of me. See, act of kindness really lifted my day. It's really cool. Really thoughtful of her that she thought of me. And of course, you know I'm going to say meditation. Meditation and honoring your queen stillness, honoring your divine feminine from a place of stillness, you know, is something I'm going to recommend to you. And we'll go into a meditation in just a while. And on the opposite of stillness is moving your body. Having a dance party for one is so important. Do you ever just get up in the middle of the day and put on music and just have a boogie? Jenny, I know you love to do this. Who gets up? Who has dance breaks in the middle of their day? Drop me a comment if you do, because I absolutely love just like having a shake and putting on the music and just like shaking it out. Absolutely shaking it out. And I don't care what I look like anymore. I used to have such a thing about moving my body and how people would see me because I'm dyspraxic and super uncoordinated. But now I just don't care. I just move my body in any way I please and I shake it out. And I really shake it. Like I place my feet on the ground and I do a full-on Osho shake and it's so good. Yes, okay, we're in part of the same tribe here. Yes, because you're all agreeing. Which brings me on to my next one, which is about surrounding yourself with your sacred tribe, people who support and understand you as you're going through this. There's nothing worse than being surrounded by people who don't understand where you are or what you're feeling or what you're doing. You boogie in the car all the time. I love it. Yes, says Sophie. There's nothing worse than being surrounded by people who are unable to access where you are at and who kind of make you feel crazy or stupid or weird or even shame you for where you're at. So surrounding yourself with sacred sisterhood is so important. And next Wednesday, I've got the lovely Georgia Barnett, who's been in this group before. She's going to come in and the two of us are going to do a live together on how to call in your sacred tribe. So come along and watch us next week for spirituality. Brittany says, it was really hard for me at first, still working through trying not to get how wild it is and be intuitive. Yes, I know, Brittany. I was the same. It took me a long time to get into my feminine space through this. Cacao really helps. Drink a cup of cacao, set your intentions into the cacao, and then just let your body flow. See what happens. It's really amazing. The more you can do it and the more you can just let it go and the more you can just flow with that, the more you can really actually connect in with your body and see where you are actually having that resistance. Like, see which part of your body is resisting. And the way that I knew this, Brittany, is because the initial part of my awakening, and I remember this moment so clearly, and I spoke about it in the immersion. I was at a gig in Jaffa in Israel, in the outdoor kind of market area with my ex-boyfriend and a couple of friends that we were friends with at the time. And this amazing band called the Yemen Blues came on. They were playing live music. And I really wanted to dance, like my body wanted to move because I love the music and I love the rhythm and I love like tribal native music. And I literally could not move my feet, like they were stuck, like paralyzed to the ground. And I knew, and I said it out loud, I was like, why can't I move my feet? It's like my brain wants them to move, but they won't move. And I knew then that there was something so stuck for me in my life that I had to do something about it. And that's actually when I discovered the breath work. So I know that feeling really well because I really used to struggle I just felt super stuck, like spiritually and physically and mentally in my life. So my body wouldn't allow me to move. I was in a freeze trauma response. Clara says, when you used to go out dancing, you would forget where you were or who you were with at times, as the music always meditates you. So you've had people leave you before alone as they didn't always feel like amazing. When we can, Cara, let's go dancing. I like the sound of that. So good. Okay. Sparking your creativity. What do you do to spark creativity? What creative things light you up? Brittany, I know you are like super duper creative and it's amazing. I love seeing all the things that you are making. Jenny, I know you're super creative. Sophie, what creativity sparks you? And Cara, I also know you're super creative. Creative beings. What sparks your creativity? What creativity nourishes your soul? Yeah, totally, Cara. Even if it's in the back garden, I don't care. Jenny, come and join us. Jenny's going to love it. I say those two because we all live within, half an hour from each other. Well, like everyone is welcome, even from a distance. Let me know what creativity sparks you up. Yeah, I try to do pointless creativity a few days a week. Yeah, but your stuff is amazing. I love seeing your stuff on Instagram, Brittany. Like your bracelets that you made and stuff, super cool. Singing, poetry, dancing, so good. Sophie, I bet you are creative. What do you love to do? Like what sparks you with joy? Yes, Jenny, I know you do, and you're a painter as well. Yes, you're up for dancing. Oh, you love singing. See, amazing. So you have it. Yes. We all have it inside of us. It's amazing. We all love singing. I love singing too, and poetry and dancing. Oh, poetry slams. Who remembers poetry slams? Oh, I used to go to poetry slams all the time in Israel. So good. People are so lyrically geniuses. It's just so fun to watch them. Yes, 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 yes. Amazing. Okay. So the last three I have on my list we've already kind of spoken about, and one of them is about Mother Earth. Obviously, connecting in with Mother Earth, I'm going to recommend that to you. We spoke about it as part of the spiritual purification. And then the last two I have is around ceremony and ritual, and then surrounding yourself with that sacred tribe who are going to support you and understand you when you're doing ceremony and ritual. So, of course, we all have different ceremonies and different rituals that we participate in and do things. Yes, see, Sophie, dancing and singing. Amazing. I love it. I love it. we all have ceremony and ritual that we like to participate in that bring back that feminine essence into our life. So, for me, that it's that I love to have the ceremony around the moon circles. Cara does as well. Jenny loves the ceremonies around the solstices. Let me know what other kinds of ceremonies or rituals you do just for yourself, by yourself, before you're coming in with other people and joining in that space together. What rituals or sacred ceremonies do you hold for yourself? Drop me in the comments. Let me know. I always say I'm going to keep these lives to like half an hour, but I just can't. There's just always so much to say. Spills out of you. What kinds of ceremonies or rituals do you guys like to do? Ooh, facial gua sha. Yes, is a new one that I'm loving every evening. Is that with the it's like a, what's it made from? And you do this under your chin. Is gua sha a Chinese ceremony? Gua sha. I love that. I don't. I'm just too excited to be part of a group. Well, Jenny, we have all of our sacred ceremonies in our membership, and we have our session on Monday, which I'm so excited. Yes, it's a stone, right? And you do this with it. What does it do for you, Brittany? What are the benefits? Ooh, yours is jade. Yeah, so it is Chinese. Yeah, of course. Gua sha. What does it mean? What does gua sha mean in Chinese? I feel like if I was living in Singapore, that would be like a huge trend. Gua sha, I'd see it like everywhere. What does it mean? And what does it do? What does it do for your face? I'm curious to know. What other ceremonies and rituals do you guys like to do? Smudging. You have self-care rituals as a therapist, self-massage, and you have a jade roller. Amazing. Yes. I've seen the jade rollers also in rose quartz, which is also really beautiful. They're also like rollers that you can use on your face, right? Yes, I love that. What does it do for you, the gua sha? I'm curious to know. Yeah, a lot of my sacred rituals and my ceremonies really revolve around meditation, of course. And I like to give myself breathwork sessions because I love to really release whatever is inside me, but also call in life force. I've definitely found it harder to breathe deeply in the last few days. So really wanted to call in that ritual of the life force and call in divinity into me. So part of my sacred ritual that I do every single day is make cacao and drink cacao every single morning. I make myself a cup of hot water with lemon and ginger, and I drink that, and then I make myself fresh cacao, not cocoa, cacao, the strong stuff, the pure, the ceremonial grade cacao from Peru. And I mix it with cinnamon and cayenne pepper and coconut milk, and I slowly stir it inside a saucepan. I put it in my special little cup, which looks like this, and this is my cup, one of my cups from Japan. I put it in this cup and I drink it every morning, and as I'm drinking it, I smell it first, and then I place my intentions into the cacao, and I ask for an intention every morning. For you, it's a self-love ritual and a way to end the day. Yes, to the breath work, Cara. Yes. Sophie says sage and incense, cleansing bath, self-massage, and candles. Yes, I love the candles. You think the sharp parts mean sand. You forget it makes like a sand-like dots on the skin from the circulation increasing. So I guess it like brings more energy into the skin. Like it brings more life into the skin. Is that right? Sounds so interesting. Amazing. Yes. So for me, sacred ritual and ceremony is also part of this nourishing for your soul, because it's coming back to yourself, and it's connecting in with whatever you prefer to call it. I know people like to say universe, source, light. I always say God, as you know, because I'm honoring divine masculine. But connecting in, yes, I'll do a whole session about cacao if you want, and I can even show you how I make it. Would you like that? I can totally do that. I love cacao. I've been drinking it for several years now. It's incredible. And it is such a good good thing to drink, by the way, before you go into the dance, because it really it opens. It's a heart opener. It opens up your heart. It's a ceremonial grade. They use it in ceremonies. Candle watching is your new one. Just watch for 10-15 minutes and stop. I love that. Bringing in the light and just candle gazing. Yes, totally amazing. Yeah, so sacred ceremony and ritual, you know, it's something that we've been practicing for years and years and years, and was very connected to sacred feminine and sacred cultures. You have some in your cabinet, you just never use it in ceremony. Okay, cool. I can totally do a live on cacao at some point. We'll think about when to do that. Maybe on a before a moon, I will do that. Yes. So next week we are gathering for our sacred ceremony on the 13th of January. We have our New Moon Women's Circle. For those of you that are interested in joining, we're going to have our beautiful New Moon Women's Circle, which I'm super, super excited about. It's the first new moon of 2021. We had a really, really powerful last full moon, of 2020, which was the full moon in Cancer. And we all know that that was a really potent and powerful full moon. It's full of emotions, full of tidal waves. So I'm excited to do some intention calling in for this new moon that's coming up on the 13th. If you are interested, I will post the link this coming week and next week into the group if you're interested in coming to join us for sacred ceremony. Jenny, gua means scrape and sha means sand. Scrape, like it's basically like sandpaper for your face. Maybe you're just like getting rid of the skin cells. I just feel like I want to do this now all the time. So, yes, as I was saying, we are meeting in Sacred Circle next Tuesday, the 13th, for a beautiful new moon ceremony. And I'm super excited to have women in circle once again to connect in with sacred sisterhood and to call in our tribe and to be together to honor that. For the new moon, first new moon. I know I can't stop doing it. For the first new moon of 2021. I know, honestly. So let's end with a beautiful meditation to nourish our souls before we all head to bed. Maybe not Brittany because she's in America and it's still her daytime, but certainly for those of us in the UK. Sophie, where are you based? I'm not sure where you're based. Perhaps in the UK. It'll be nice to know where you're based. So let's end with a nice nourishing meditation. So wherever you are, whether you're still in the bath or you are just in your space, I really encourage you now to close your eyes. Take 3 really nice deep collective breaths in through the nose. Feel your chest expand, and as you release, just let it come through your mouth like a waterfall. Allow it to fall out of your mouth like a waterfall. Oh, no way. No. Sophie, you're in Norwich? No way. So are we. I'm also right next to Norwich, and so is Cara, and so is Jenny's also in Norfolk. So welcome to the crew. Amazing. So take nice deep, deep breaths. And release. Nice deep breath in once again. And release. One more time collectively. And release. And I just invite you to continue breathing at your own pace and your own rhythm. I just invite you now to see your body as a pure vessel of white light. From the feet all the way up through the body to the top of your head, just enveloped in this beautiful pure white light. And I invite you now to feel into the energy and the vibration and the frequency of your body within that white light. Notice how quickly or slowly the energy moves within you. Any sensations that arise for you. Any movements or feelings within you. And then I just invite you to see that white light starting to spread down from the soles of your feet, down through the earth and connecting in with the Divine Mother, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. You're going to start to see that light spreading out down through the layers of the earth, expanding and growing, interconnecting and weaving its way down through the layers of the earth, going deeper and deeper, spreading its light through the roots, connecting down into the very core of Mother Earth, into the very womb of Mother Earth, where that light at the very end meets a rainbow. A beautiful prism of light with all the colors of the rainbow sparkling and shining, connecting and reflecting. And from that rainbow energy, just going to start to see something, a gift, birthing through that rainbow crystalline energy in the very core of Mother Earth. Just start to see that gift birthing through the crystal, through the rainbow. Maybe it's a symbol, perhaps it's an object. It could be a color or a feeling or a word. Whatever it is, just allow it to birth through that crystal, birth through that rainbow, and harvest it into the middle of Mother Earth, into the womb of Mother Earth. And once you see that gift that's been harvested and birthed through the rainbow, through the crystal, I invite you to pull it up through that incredible white light, all the way through the roots, higher and higher, weaving its way up through that white light and through the soles of your feet and starting to expand into your legs, into your thighs, your hips, your womb space. Feel it swirling and vortexing around your womb, filling it up, and then starting to work its way up through your sacral, your solar plexus, into your heart, expanding up into your throat, into your third eye, and up through the crown of your head, connecting up, up, up into the cosmos. See the energy of that gift starting to expand and grow across your neighborhood, your community, your country, and all the way out into the rest of the world, until you see everybody, every single body on this planet Earth at this time, connected hand in hand. And start to feel the pulse of that energy spread from one hand to the next, from sister, to brother, to sister, to brother, and connecting us all as one unified heart, one beating heart, one gathering of hearts. And when that gift has been shared with everybody on this planet, I want you to notice the energy. Notice the frequency now. Notice the vibration now. And slowly start to see all those people fading away, but bring the resonance of that energy down through your crown, third eye and your throat, your heart and your solar plexus, your sacral, your womb and your root, all the way back down through your legs and your feet. Down, down, down with the connection to the very center of the earth and back to that rainbow crystal from which you gathered it. Taking 3 deep breaths. And just rubbing your hands together. Placing your hands somewhere on your body that you feel needs that extra healing and guidance and energy. When you're ready, just slowly opening your eyes. Coming back into this space. And I would love to hear from you. Just drop me in the comments. What was the gift that you harvested through the crystal rainbow? What was the energy of that gift? What did you share out into the world? Let me know. For me, it was courage. I felt courage coming through. Let me know what you felt. What came through for you? I'm curious to know. Jenny, I know you always see so much colour. Oh, I love that, Brittany. It was infinite inner knowing and vital energy. Yes. Peace. Oh, you're tingling. Yes. Amazing, Sophie. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you felt love. Okay, this is everything that we needed to call in to nourish our souls. Love, courage, peace, infinite inner knowing, and vital energy. Aho, aho, aho. So this week, I really encourage you to really call in the things that you need to nourish your soul. Take time to honor your sacred boundaries. Take time to nourish and nourish whatever it is that you desire within you. So just spark that creativity. If you love to sing, sing. If you love to dance, dance. If you love to move, move. If you love to create, create. Bring in whatever it is that really nourishes your soul. Gather together in community. Come and join us for the Women's Circle next week. It's going to be a beautiful space to honor the first new moon of 2021. Hurrah! And things are only going to continue to ramp up from here. So as much as possible, we need to keep connecting with ourselves, connecting with each other, surrounding ourselves with like-minded, amazing queens like you, and protecting our energy as we continue. We're just continuing to ramp up in ascension, guys. There's no slowing down. The energy is like the energy now is ramping. I feel the energy is ramping up. Okay, this ascension process is just like quickening. It's like it's like the sifting out of the people who are not joining us. It's like nope, 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 yes, nope, yes, nope, yes, like this. It feels like the energy is fully ramping up. So really take good care of yourselves. And the one thing I forgot to mention, which I should add on my list, and I talk about it a lot, stay hydrated. Keep drinking so much water to keep flushing yourself through. Keep drinking loads and loads of water, as much as possible, to keep bringing yourself into that nourishment. Oh, you are so welcome, Brittany, with so much love. I'm so glad you could make it. I love these weekly spiritualities because I come up with ideas and then I never quite know what's going to come through, as you know. So these meditations are fully channeled. There's no preparation for them. They just come through for whatever I feel needs to come through for you. So I really feel grateful that when you resonate with it, because I feel like the energy is channeling through for you. You're so welcome, Sophie. I'm really glad you could join us, and it's awesome that you live in Norwich. So when we all actually can finally meet up, you already have some people around you as part of your tribe. You have me, you have Cara, you have Jenny, who doesn't live in Norwich but doesn't live far, and there's a whole bunch of us that are in Norwich. So you'd be very welcome to come and hang out with us when we do finally have an opportunity to meet up. There are loads of very cool people living around here. So sending you all lots and lots and lots of love. Yes, go to sleep, Cara. Night night. Thank you for so much for showing up for yourself and being a part of this. Sending you all so much love. I posted a mantra for self-nourishment on Monday, so go back and have a look at the mantra. You can save it as your screenshot. Yeah, 20 minutes away. Perfect. Yes, me too, Sophie. Me too. Save it as your screensaver and just repeat it to yourself every day this week. Yeah, so many spiritual ladies in Norfolk. It's awesome. Night, beautiful souls.